What is crack-a-lackin'? What is crack-a-lackin'? Hope everybody's having a great day. Hey guys, let me know if I got a 5 for 5. I turned the volume up a little bit, so you may have to turn yours down a little on your end. I was getting some low volume on the last live stream. Anyway, so let me go through this real quick. Guys, we've got a blood moon getting ready to happen. And here is that. We'll go into detail here in just a little while. We had almost an X flare and multiple other ones. This is what I was talking about earlier. We will definitely go over that. They are forecasting G2 level storms from a CMEs that happened with that. Here is just a quick look at the flare right there. Right about there. Okay. There was multiple flares. We will definitely be talking about that. Also, this big gigantic coronal hole can help steer those CMEs. Okay, we'll talk about that too, plus some solar wind that is involved with that. NASA and NOAA are not agreeing on the timing of this, so it's going to be interesting to see how this actually plays out. This is actually NASA's version of what's going to happen with the CME. There was actually like 3 of them here, and again, we'll go over that here in just a second. This is NOAA's version. Okay, it definitely looks a little different than what NASA's showing. So, and here is that CME from Stereo A's point of view from the side. This is Earth is over here. Okay, we'll go more into that, guys. This is the sunspots responsible. Let me back that up a little bit. There you go. And here's Earth size compared to that. It's right in front. It's right in the Earth strike zone, guys. So that's why we're going to be getting hit. I do expect some earthquake upticks, and yeah. So we'll be going over that. And check this out. This comes from Draconis. He's a longtime subscriber. He's an awesome dude. But I showed you guys this Aurora pic about a week or 2 ago. I'm showing it now because we could be seeing Aurora with all of this stuff going on. Okay, if that CME hits at the same time, I mean, you got a blood moon with Aurora in the sky. I mean, how cool would that be? You know what I mean? So, yeah. So if you could, just watch this little short intro and we will get rocking and jocking and just doing it all day long, baby. All right, guys, that is that picture. And anybody who wants to send me pics, please do. I'll show them every time. Okay, and this is just awesome. This is awesome stuff, man. By the way, I want a pool. Just saying. Anyway, so let's just start here with the moon. Guys, this is something that's been being talked about from a lot of different perspectives. And you know, there's going to be a whole lot of theories. I don't want to, some of them are going to be conspiracy theories. Some of them are going to just be regular, you know, science or what have you. Hey, Killy. Good to see you. Angel's Wings, what's crack-a-lackin'? All right, I'm putting my chat away so I don't squirrel. All right, my chat's going to be over there for a minute. But anyway, so we got this blood moon getting ready to happen. And here is the time for Eastern Standard Time. Now, I'm showing you this because it's like right at midnight. Okay, now the timing of this is going to be really interesting. Even if this CME doesn't hit exactly at the full blood moon, we can still see partial, you know, and it actually depends on what time zone you're in, okay? So let me do this real quick. I'll back that up because this is Dr. Tony Phillips, obviously, spaceweather.com. I show you guys his webpage every show. This is one of my staples. I always come over here and look. He's just right on most of the time. So I like to promote what he's doing. I've never even talked to him, so I don't even know him. But I just think it's a great website and a great source. But you guys can come over here and you can look at like Central Time. Okay, you guys can just click on whatever you want to do wherever you're at. Whatever your, well, let me say this. Not every time zone's represented here. Okay, it might be everything at night where this is actually going to be happening at. I'm not exactly sure, but I know that I'm in the Eastern time zone, so I'll be seeing this, right? And I will be getting probably one of the best views of this. And I may even go outside and try to capture some stuff. Our phones nowadays are just amazing. So I'll just, I'll kind of leave it at that. But yeah, so please come over here. But even I think he actually changed his article here a little bit, because at first he was saying, hey, it might happen at the same time, and he's still saying that. But he has some questions now, because now we have NASA and NOAA, their prospective models aren't agreeing exactly on the timing. Now, I was looking at this, and it looks like it's moving pretty quick. Okay? So if it moves that quick, it's going to get here and about the same time as this. So let's just go over that real quick. And yeah, so this is NOAA's version of it. Now listen, this is just one of the CMEs. Okay? There's possible a couple CMEs in here that didn't get, because I can toggle. Watch. This one here only shows one CME at a time. This is at 25. This is August 25th at 1700. You can see it down here. Okay. Now if I go to the next CME it picked up, see how it's different? But it's still hitting. Is that the same CME? Is the model having, a couple brain farts here? I don't know. But I'm going to go to the next one, and that was just a minute later. I don't think that those are separate CMEs. I think it's changing its mind on what's actually going to happen. Now, I do think that there's two of them in there, though. Now, this is hours later, and that's off the backside. See, watch, right there. And the most latest one, I think, is actually over here. Oh, there's another small one. You see that? That's the second small one that could hit us. It does look like it's going to hit us. Now, whether it does anything, who knows? You can see it here if you're not. This is our orbital line stretched out, okay, in a straight line. So you can see it kind of blow up right there. See that? That's it's suggesting that thing will hit. Now, if I go to the next one, there was actually another one. That's back here. Now, I'm showing you guys this one because this isn't Earth facing yet. And this, whatever caused this, is going to be Earth facing in the next 5-6 days. So it gives us something we're going to have to pay attention to, is what I'm saying. And I also want to point out this. This is our the magnetic polarity of the sunspots I just showed you guys from over here at HelioViewer. Okay? See how we kind of fit? Oh, this is Earth size. That's how big these sunspots are. Now, and when we're talking about sunspots, they're really not that gigantic. There is a lot, though. And because of these cores, it's considered, I think these are considered two different sunspot groupings. But you got all these little cores down here with all kinds of different magnetic polarities. So when you start getting those mixing, that's when you start seeing stuff like this. Okay? See how busy that is? That's from our point of view. This is the 131 angstrom of light. It's looking at a specific gas. This is from SDO. I'm not going to get into the whole technicality of how the model actually works, but you can kind of see, boom, boom, look at this. Boom. I mean, bam, bam, thank you, ma'am. Here we go. We're going to do it like Stan. That's Eminem, if you know what I'm saying, because he's the man. Yeah, I can raps about anything. Listen, traffic. Look, there goes a Ford Maverick. I'm just kidding, guys. Sorry, a little fired up tonight. I'm in a pretty decent mood. I don't know why. My wife and my daughter are actually going to a concert tomorrow up in Chicago. I'm actually kind of scared about that. I hate letting them get in the car and letting them. It sounds like I control them. I don't, believe me. I don't control any of that. But they're going to go have a good time. They're going to spend some mother and daughter time and do that. I went with her last year. We went to Soldier Field. If anybody has to climb to the tops of Soldier Field, man, take an oxygen mask with you, because you're going to need it. It was all I could do. My back is all jacked up. Like, it was hard. And we had to walk 1.5 miles to get there. It took us forever. During those kinds of concerts up there in those bigger cities, it just gets cram-packed with people, and they just can't. Anyway, I'm done talking about concerts. I just want to point that out. Anyway, so could use some prayers for my my wife and daughter, so they gotta have a good time and be safe. So it's like a 4.5 hour drive. So they're gonna stay in a hotel and all that. But anyway, you got that flare, and yes, these did cause radio blackouts. This right here, that was almost an X flare. I mean, we're talking R2 class radio blackouts here. Okay? What that means is ham radio operated, shortwave, those kinds of things. Emergency services uses those for communications. And I understand how people could think that this doesn't affect us, like it never happens where you're at, right? Let me be clear on what I'm talking about with the X-ray. Okay? The X-rays hit, and they cause these radio blackouts. Typically, they're very short-lived blackouts. You got to understand, this is an angstrom of light. It's moving at the speed of light. It gets here in 8 minutes. Okay? So if it's going to cause anything like that, it's not going to really last all that long unless it's a long duration X-ray event. We've had these flares pop up and stay up here for like 6 hours. So, and you know, people say, well, it ain't really bothering me where I'm at. Well, once you ask the person down, you know, 5 or 6 states over that had a family member that had a heart attack, and the emergency services were a little bit slower that day because of something like this. So it doesn't have to actually affect you immediately. It's affecting somebody. Also, remember, the planet is 70% water. So that means that it's going to be happening over some oceans where there's not a whole lot of people out there except for fishermen and shipping lanes and stuff like that. Okay? So keep that in mind when we're talking about this. Now, we've had these things happen right over the United States. Like, almost directly. And it's happened in every country. It's just the way that it depends on where we're at during the day. You know, we're rotating at 15 degrees an hour. So, you know, that's how we get our time zones. And we just talked about that. But they are actually, you know, G2 right here on the 28th. Now, G1, G2, G1, and they're actually, I think this one here, at the end of the day on the 28th, is that smaller one that I showed you guys. This one here, okay? Not that one. Let me back it up one, if I can. Ain't that a song? Gotta back it up. Just kidding. Anyway, so you see that little one right there? That's probably what they're saying is going to cause that G1 with influence from this coronal hole opening. This stuff is just flowing out, right? So the corona peels back, exposes the surface of the sun. What do we get? Fast solar wind. Now remember, we're talking about magnetics here. Okay? So this CME blasted off with whatever magnetic polarities are inside those magnetic fields. The solar wind is going out in whatever magnetic orientation it has. So it depends. So if say this corona hole right here is producing mainly positive oriented magnetic fields, and this CME is negative mainly, they're going to draw to one another. In other words, what I'm saying is that this solar wind can actually pull the CME a little bit. Now, also, what can happen if this is, say this is positive, and maybe this is positive also. Positive, positive, what do? They butt heads. They push against each other. So the coronal hole usually wins that battle as far as steering, because you know, I really don't have a good answer for that one yet. I need to look into that. I need to learn that, why that is. This is something I've observed. Maybe I'm wrong. I could be wrong on that too. But anyway, the positive and positive, so basically it could push this CME a different direction. That's why I think, in my opinion, these models are not agreeing. Okay? So again, you got your NASA model, and then you have your, I thought I had that pulled up. I guess I didn't. Let me show you we'll show you the NOAA model here. So this is NOAA's model. Okay, now in some ways this one's better, in some ways it's not. This one here is going to show you only things basically coming this direction. Typically this model will not show you anything on the backside. I don't know why NOAA does it that way, but this is actually a forecasting model that shows you 2 days of historic data. So right here's the last update was at 25 at 1749. It says right here when this was created, right? That's the last time this model was updated. So that would be about about roughly right there. Okay, so again, top-down version right here. That's sun, that's the earth. This is a side cut looking from the side. All right, so if I take this and I move it, you see what happens. See, the CME's popped off. That's why that image was created at that time. It recognized there was a CME. Hey, Todd, good to see you, bud. Yeah, exactly. Location, location, location. Hey, guys, I'm making him a moderator, so if you guys... He's now got a wrench. Carrington App's got a wrench. Yay, 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 yay. Welcome to the mod family, brother. All right. Now, let me... right here is, like I said, right there is when it all happened, but then you got your CMEs. I know it's kind of hard to see, but even here it looks like there's two. So I'm questioning whether or not, you know, because the NASA model is showing some of these things doing that, right? So let me back it up here and show you what I mean. I'll back it up a couple. So that's about a half hour before the big one was supposedly to happen. So there's the first hint of it, right? So what I'm guessing here is that's like the first one. And then you got one 20 minutes later. Okay, it's showing the second one. You got one 1 minute later, and it's showing the third one, which I kind of think the second and third one is probably the same one. I'm not sure the model can really do that justice. Okay, remember, these are just forecasting models. All right, now there's the one off the backside. So, with that being said, let me back this up again. So it does look like there's at least two, and I actually would agree with that. And NOAA is saying the same thing here. Okay, but they're saying this the first one isn't going to hit until around midday on the 28th UTC time. That's universal time, guys. That's over in England. So if you're on the East Coast, you got about a 4-hour difference. That's what that computes to. So if you didn't know that, but anyway, you got this bam bam right there, right? And then you got that's the bigger CME. So I think there might have been a smaller one, at least that's what NOAA's saying, that kind of popped off first. It might not be smaller in the sense, it could be just the direction of where it hit. Could be like the side, right? Could be taking just a side swipe. So, yeah. Anyway, boom, boom, boom. All right. Now, let me take that back off there. Now, I do think it's going to be, right now we have like zero aurora. I mean, there's like, right now, geomagnetically, we are just not having very much geomagnetic activity here at the planet at this second, which actually sometimes can mean that when we do get hit during a low geomagnetic extended period of time, if we get hit with something right after that, like during that, sometimes it'll hit harder because of that. I oftentimes will tell you guys the sun helps protect us from the sun. We have to have a certain amount of geomagnetism hanging around to help block a lot of things, especially like cosmic rays. Now you can see this is the KP right here, see? And you can see how we're really low here. Now if I go back up here to the one you guys are used to seeing, you can see it here too. Now when we start getting down to less than 1 for more than 24 hours, we have to start talking about cosmic rays, because the geomagnetic activity actually will help block that stuff. And during solar minimum, this gets talked about a lot more because obviously we don't have as much geomagnetic activity happening because the sun's is tired. It goes to sleep for a little while. But yeah, so we need to have that geomagnetism hanging around. If we do, but it's also a catch-22, right? Now, again, I will never, ever come out here and tell you guys, grid down, okay? You're probably never going to hear me say that in any serious way, because if that was actually the case, I wouldn't be able to tell you. The timing of it, it would just happen. And that's why we do what we do, right? Not that this is just interesting, but we like to think ourselves a little bit prepared for things. It's not a conspiracy thing. It is simply a mathematic thing. That it will happen eventually, guys. I don't know if we're going to be here for it. I don't talk about this much because that's really it goes down the negative path, right? And we got a lot of negative in our world. So I just like to show you what's actually going on. But I have my opinions, and I actually have math to back it with when we're talking about stuff like that. Now, whether you think it's going to happen in 10 years, 20 years, let me tell you something. Most people are going to be off at least a little bit. And also, you're only going to be right one time. And I say that for people that continually move the goalpost. Now, I said it was going to happen over here, and then it doesn't happen. Then they make some big excuse and move the goalpost back. We can't be doing that. It waters down everything you say after that. So I would highly encourage people that just continue, and they make excuses why they move the goalpost. You know, it doesn't, you shouldn't do it. It's not going to help. It's not going to make any difference. It just won't. You know, and it's easy to get wrapped up into that. I really understand that, okay? I'm not saying we shouldn't be talking about stuff at all. I think we all should be talking about it. We all have our opinions, right? But at the same time, we have to be responsible. Think of it if your kids were listening to you. You're over here telling the world that the world's going to end on a specific date and a specific hour, and then it doesn't happen. What are your kids going to start to think? They're going to quit listening. Because you're wrong so many times. Like I said, you're only going to be right one time. And the one time it happens is going to be a disaster. So, I mean, why? I just don't understand putting such a specific date on it. I have no problem saying, hey, it's going to happen. Mathematically, it has to. I can't tell you when. All I can do is show you the signs and the conditions leading up to stuff like that. And hopefully show some understanding as I learn. So when I learn, I share it with you. I let you guys see my mistakes on purpose. It's okay to be wrong. What's not okay is not admitting that you were wrong. That's where you build it. That's where you get smarter. That's where we all get better. So please quit doing this date, and moving it back here and there and everywhere. You know, you're again. Yeah. Now, I'm not saying, like I said, we've got to talk about stuff. So when something like that actually does happen, the people that are listening to me and the people that are listening to stuff that like what we talk about here are going to be, at least they have the thought in their mind that, hey, maybe that's what happened. Because if your power goes out, you could just think, oh, we had a power outage, until you look outside and there's people running down the street trying to get this, that, and the third. You're like, what is going on? Well, you're not going to have to wonder. You're going to know. Hey, something happened big. The power's out. Could have been the sun. Could have been an EMP. Who knows? But at least you know that that's actually a possibility, and you won't be as scared. You'll start thinking, what do I need to do? And you're not going to have to think very long because we're already talking about it. You're going to be aware, so you're not going to have that knee-jerk jump scare reaction. You're just going to have to boom, boom, boom. Exactly, Carrington. Yeah, different flavor of Kool-Aid. You know what I'm saying? That's exactly right. And I'm not saying that it ain't fun to watch channels like that and be entertained and listen to what they're saying. Because I'm in the firm belief that both sides are right. But they're not right 100%. The truth's going to end up being where they overlap. If you can find that spot where they overlap, that's going to be your truth. That's what's going to happen. So anyway, I'm sorry. I shouldn't. I mean, if I offended anybody there, I don't mean to offend people. Hopefully I'm just spreading awareness, and that's my goal here. And I love space weather. It just really does interest me. It keeps my mind going, and I love it. And you know, it's great stuff. So get over and check out the Carrington app too. He's got a lot of good stuff over there. They redesigned it and everything, and I'll be talking more about that here in the coming weeks. Got some special stuff coming for you guys. So anyway, so yeah, so let me come back here, and we're gonna back it up just a little bit here. So that is the biggest flare right there. Again, this is the 131 extreme ultraviolet angstrom of light, and we look at specific light spectrum because I'm sorry, guys. Hold on a minute. Sorry, I had a bit of a coughing attack there. We look at different angstroms of light so we can see different gases. And the reason we want to see different gases on the sun is because it gives us different visuals for a better understanding of what's actually happening. So this one here is really good at showing X-ray. Okay, you can see it. Boom, boom. Also, SDO, guys, this is the SDO website. I'm going to back this up a little bit. We'll just go here. I want you guys to see this. Please come over here to SDO. There's a link in my description box. They changed it, okay? And what they've done is they've added a browser display. You don't have to download it. They've redesigned this whole thing. And I like it. I like it a lot. I really like it a lot. I like the fact that it's a browser display. You don't really have to download frames. I think it was solely, I think they were kind of using browser display before, if I remember right. But you can set your date here, up here, and you can see whatever angstrom of light you want to look at. It's really that simple, right? So, it just is. So if I come here, here's the 211, the purple one I showed you over there. It's the same imaging. This here is the same as what this is getting ready to show you. It's the same exact data. It's just on two different websites. That's simply all that it is. See? So I can pause this and I can grab it. I tend to show it to you over on ISWA because this was a great tool also. If you guys didn't know. It shows so many good things. But you can see how just this one here, look at that. That's the biggest CME. You can see it ripple through. Okay? See that? Ripple through the corona? And it happens fast. So that's why I'm kind of thinking that this one's moving a little faster than what NOAA thinks it is. But, you know, I'm not going to tell you that, you know, I'll give you my opinion. I think that this is going to happen before they're saying it is. I'm not sure how many hours, but we're going to have to wait and see. And it's going to largely depend on how, you know, like I said, how fast it's moving. We'll take a look at the Discover data when I'm talking about this. So we can look at speed right here. It's measured in kilometers per second. So roughly 400 kilometers per second, I think, is 1,000,000 miles per hour. So it's a rough estimate there, guys. It's like a rule of thumb thing if you don't want to get out a converter, a calculation converter, to go from miles per hour to kilometers per second. But you can use that just as a rough estimate, because for what we're talking about, you don't have to really be, I'm not getting specific on what the exact speed of it is. Rough is good enough when we're talking about a fast moving CME. As long as you're within reason. I mean, you can't go crazy with it, but yeah. So you look at that, and that's what you get, right? So right now we're, you know, 300 to 500 is what we consider normal or ambient speed. We're always getting hit with solar wind, guys. The only way we don't have solar wind is if the sun isn't there. Okay? And that leads me into this too. I can just talk about this just for a second. Let me get the magneto pause. I thought I had this up. Where are you at? There it is. Okay. So this is our magneto pause. Okay, the sun's over here to the left. This is our bow shock. There's been times people have come out and said, hey, the bow shock is down. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Right? Wouldn't that be like really bad if our bow shock was gone? What is the bow shock? It's simply just the first point of contact from solar wind in our magnetic field. That's all that it is. So if you break it down that simplicity-wise, what happens when somebody says, hey, the bow shock's down? Well, the only conclusions you can draw at that point, if that was to be true, one of two things would have had to have happened. Either the sun isn't there anymore, or our magnetic field is gone. That's the only way you don't have a bow shock. And either way is a really bad day for everybody here on this rock. Okay? So, when they tell you that, I would, you know, just be careful. Because it's not going to happen. It's just not. It just won't happen. That can't happen. Now, if our magnetic field goes down during a magnetic pole reversal for a short amount of time or even an extended amount of time. That can actually happen, right? But I'm talking like just the bow shock went down and it's never coming back. That's kind of what they're trying to tell you. And that's just not going to happen, guys. At least let's hope it doesn't. It would take something very gigantic and catastrophic to cause something like that. Now, I know none of us have been here for a magnetic pole flip, okay? All we can do is theorize and look in history. That's all you can do. So, you know, I listen to everybody, and my opinions are my opinions on that, and I'm not even going to share them because it doesn't do any good. Everybody has their own opinion on that, so I just choose to show you the data on both sides. I think that's the best way to handle it because you guys are smart. You guys can make your own mind up what you believe, okay? Especially talking about a subject like that. The best thing to do is be aware and prepare a little bit. That's all you can do. Or prepare a lot, depending on who you are. You know, prepare to the point where you're comfortable and then go one step further. I always say that. Chance Paladin has a book out. I'm actually going to be giving one of those books away. And he sent me 2 of them. It's his prepper book. He wrote a book. He wrote 2 of them now. And I will be giving, he sent me 2 of them, so I'll be sending one out to somebody. I'm not sure exactly when I'll be doing that. I was going to do it during my members only stream to give something special. But I may save that for my main audience also because I think that that's important for everybody to see. You know, kind of, he breaks it down, how to grow vegetables. I mean, you know, there's a whole lot of things in there that I didn't know. And I really appreciated his book. So I will be talking about that more also. Okay, so earthquakes, guys, like I said, not much going on here right now at the second. It's just going to continue. Anytime you have a large coronal hole facing Earth, earthquake stuff goes up. That's something else on the Carrington app, guys. Yeah, so the Carrington app has earthquake stuff on it too now. So we're going to be going into that a little bit more just, you know, here in a week or so. But yeah. Still kind of, sorry guys, I got a little distracted there. I had something going on here in the background. Apologize. But yeah, so we're going to be going more into that Carrington app, and I'll be sharing with you some, like I said, some exciting stuff, at least for me and for you guys, that could really help us all. But I've always promoted the Carrington app anyway from day one. It's always been a great app. He redesigned it, him and his, I'm not sure if it was just Todd or if it was a whole lot of people on his team. I would imagine it was a group effort, but I don't know for sure yet. So, but we'll be sharing some more of that stuff, and I just think it's a really good thing. But anyway, okay. I'm trying to see if I missed anything. You guys got any questions? I mean, throw some questions in there for me real quick if you want. But I want to show you this too. This is the 304. This is ionized helium. This shows magnetic filaments really well. You see this? You see that flash? That was from that flare. But you see these big dark ropes laying in the corona? Sometimes when you get CMEs and flares happening really close to these filaments, you know what happens? They erupt off. Look at this one. Look at that. I mean, some of these are very photogenic. It doesn't mean that they're going to be doing anything to anybody. Matter of fact, you can see the sun recapturing right here. Okay, those are magnetic field lines. And what you're seeing is you're seeing plasma travel on those field lines back and forth. Okay? Highly charged particles. So, yeah. Anyway, so let me, yeah, so that was a pretty decent sized one here. I just wanted to show you guys that. You know, it's hard to see a CME on this particular angstrom when the sun's the actual background. In other words, if it's Earth directed, this particular 304, the ionized helium view, you're not going to be able to see the CME real well. You'll still be able to see it, just not as well as you can on the other angstroms. So, because the sun actually camouflages it some. Now, I do want to show you this. I was going to do this a minute ago. Well, I tell you what. I think I already got it up. Yeah, let me back that up. So, Seeds is finally caught back up. This site has been up and down for 2 weeks now. Maybe even longer. I like it because it's going to show us Lasco C2, but it's going to give us the difference version over here. Okay, I like the black and white because it's easier to see. It's easier to explain to people when they can see it this visually. You know what I mean? But this is the normal one you guys see here. This is on SOHO. It's a satellite 1,000,000 miles closer to the sun than what we are. Okay? But yeah, so you're seeing that. Now what this also does, this is a CME tracker. Okay? It's meant to catch CMEs. A side effect of that is it actually sees a lot of comet or sun diving comets. I've shown you guys a bunch. They're really photogenic here, and SOHO catches a lot of them. It's really cool to watch those little dudes get smacked into the sun. But anyway, you could come over here to seeds, and you can just scroll down and hit these links right here. If it's a CME, it's going to light it up right here. See? So I could click on any of that, and you're going to see a CME. So it shows you the width, which is what that is, positive, negative. I'm not going to get into what the red and blue is, but it's just a real good way to be able to say, hey, this is from our point of view, so we can't see the sun. This is an actual disc, plastic disc. I'm not sure if it's plastic. It's probably, I don't know what it's made out of. Anyway, it's an actual disc on the imager. It blocks the main light of the sun. Here is the sun's surface. Okay? So they do that so the imager can get an image at all. But what that means is we can't really see what's behind here, so we look for what we call a halo CME, halo signature. You'll see it poking around the whole disc. If that's happening, if you see that, that means one of two things. It means it's either coming directly at Earth or it's going directly off the backside. Okay? How do we know the difference in that? Well, there's one thing we can do. We can go look from the side. That's stereo A. So we can come over here, and this is the image I showed you a minute ago. Okay? Earth is over here. So, yeah, that's how we do that, right? So we got two different perspectives, so we can get at least an idea of whether or not it's on the front of the sun coming at us or on the backside not going to hit us. This is something I do every time. I check this every time. Now, I'm not sure when we're going to lose stereo A. We eventually will. Stereo B, we don't get nothing from it anymore. I think they still get some data from it, but it lost communications years ago, and they tried to get it back, and it was doing this and doing that. It was doing a whole lot of things, okay? But, yeah. All right, so if you look here, you see this right here? That's stereo A. That's about where the satellite is right now. They move it in the orbit. It used to be way over here, guys. It did. They moved it all the way over here to where stereo B used to be. Actually, I could show that to you. Why am I sitting here doing it? See? This is stereo A right here. Notice how it has an IMF line? That's the connection to the sun magnetically. Interplanetary magnetic field line. Everything is connected to the sun. Everything. So, and like I say all the time, if you were, yeah, Solar One's there too. Oh, yeah, it is live now. Yeah, I think I got that. It's this one here, isn't it? Todd? That goes 19. That's not Solar One. The Solar, let me see, are they tracking Solar One on this one? Not yet. They might add it. Sometimes they add some satellites when we get new ones out there. But I think you got it on your app. But anyway, this is actually goes 19. This is the one that they use now. This is the official coronagraph or whatever you want to say here. And it's a newer one. Now what you're going to notice every day, you're going to see a big bright dot right there. And it's just because of the positioning of the satellite. Nothing, and you're also going to see that shadow show up right there. There's nothing crazy going on there. It's just because of the positioning of the satellite with the Earth, the Moon, and the Sun. A lot of things come into play there. GOES 19 is being used a lot. Now, this right here is the Core 1. I think I can, because there is this is the difference imaging. I could change it to the blue imaging, which isn't a difference image. But you can see, guys, I mean, don't forget in these difference imaging, you always have to keep in mind sometimes you'll get a lot of ghosting. What that means is it'll show you the actual, what's actually there, and then like 2 or 3 frames later, the opposite color will show up. So if you've seen it in white, in like 2 or 3 frames, you're going to see it again in black in the same exact spot. Okay? It's a ghosting phenomenon that happens with the. It's a camera thing. Okay, so just keep that in mind. I think that might be Mercury. I'd have to look. Yeah, that's Mercury. So if you guys are wondering what this little planet is right here, that's Mercury. It's showing up on LASCO C2, I think, too. Let's find out. This is Soho. It's probably inside the occulter disc here. I seen it come across. Well, no, I can show it to you. It's right here. See it? That's Mercury. This is LASCO C3. This is a zoomed out version of the C2. And this actually gives us a really good look at the halo. Watch. Let me, right there. See that? See all the energy's coming out? All the way around? That means it's coming right at us. Now remember, if you guys live in tornado country, you probably know this. If you're standing outside and you see a thunderstorm rolling up on you, and there's a tornado on the ground, right? So you see a tornado. The same phenomenon is true. If you're looking at this tornado dead on, and you don't see it moving left or right, one of two things is happening. Like I just said a minute ago. It's either going to be coming right at you, or it's going to be going directly the opposite direction. So don't be crazy and stand out there and think, oh my gosh, that tornado ain't moving at all. Oh, I promise you it is. Okay? It might not be moving very fast. It could be, we've had tornadoes stall before, but it doesn't stall very long. Sometimes it'll switch directions and stuff. But remember that. Just a little tidbit there. Anyway, yeah. So the same phenomenon's happening when we're looking at something dead on. All right? But I also like to point out, guys, again, all these sunspots are becoming very, very unstable. And you guys see the reds and blues. I'm going to zoom in here on this one because I really wanted to show this to you. Okay? So if you guys look at this, when you start seeing the reds and blues, especially when the reds themselves are kind of splitting a little bit, or the blues themselves are splitting a little bit, they start intermixing, and then they start connecting. It's called a reconnection event, and when that happens, that's a flare. Whether it's going to be a big one or not. This one is harboring enough energy to give us X-flares. And it's already proven that it can. And I can show you that. Right here. That was so close to an X-flare. I mean, yeah, it wouldn't have took much more. If we'd have had a couple more sunspots facing us, like say we had a couple sunspots down here or something, we were already getting a little bit extra X-ray anyway, that would have been an X-flare. Okay? Now, granted, as you start getting higher and higher, it's just like an earthquake. Things start increasing. They're not just increasing like 0.2. You have to understand 0.2 going from 0 to 0.2 is a lot different than going from 8 to 8.2. Okay? Things happen very, very badly in those types when you start getting that high up, especially with earthquakes. So, anyway, but yeah. Yeah, okay. So, I just want to say I appreciate all you guys. Please consider being a member. It's always, we have a really good time. We watched the Star Wars movie, fan film. Star Wars Theory. If you guys like Star Wars, it was any member that watched that, please tell everybody how good it was. Or how bad you thought it was. I don't think you're going to think it's bad, because it was probably the best fan film I have ever seen. And I'm not just saying that. I don't say that lightly. I'm a Star Wars geek, but, it is what it is. But I just want to make sure that if anybody wants to be a member, please consider that. I'm also going to start something new. If people start gifting memberships, if you gift 5 memberships, I will send you a deck of cards. They're space related. Actually, if you look at, I think I can pull the picture up. Hold on a minute. I think I have it. Well, we're going to see. I don't know if I do or not, but we're going to see. we'll check. Anyway, it's on the thumbnail, the members only. Okay, those cards on that thumbnail are the space weather cards that I have, and I actually have some Firefly cards too. They're all bicycle. They're all good quality. So if you guys want to, anybody that does, the kindness of their heart, become a member or give some and those kinds of things, I will send you some cards. I'm going to be giving away some that book, and I actually have some other Star Wars stuff I'm going to be giving away too. Some cool stuff, really cool stuff. So, anyway, I just wanted to mention that here at the end. I'm not going to make my show about that. It's never been about that. I'm not going to do that. I caught myself a few weeks back saying it way too much. I want you guys to know that I'm really trying. I hope you guys see my effort. I know that I let you guys down for a couple months. Well, probably like 3 or 4 months. And I feel really horrible about that. Not because of me. Because I know that you guys felt like I just kind of bolted. So that's why, I caught myself I was so focused on trying to build the channel back so I can make it up to everybody. And I just feel really bad about it. That's all. I'm not going to get too much more into that. It actually gets me kind of emotional because I really hurt some people's feelings by not showing up for a couple months. And yeah. All I can do is say, hey, I'm not going to do that again. If it comes a point in time where I might have to step back for a minute, whenever that is, because everybody does from time to time, I'm at least going to tell you guys. That was my biggest mistake there, I think. I always tell you guys things, and that time I didn't, and I don't know why. I really don't. I was just in such a bad place in my head. Yeah, it was bad for a while. And it's not your guys' fault, it's my fault. So, if you guys catch me talking about, hey, become a member or this or that or whatever, if I start doing that too much, don't be afraid to call me out on it, please. Okay? I will never be that person. I've always told you guys I won't make a video just for the sake of making a video. And I have never, ever done that. I won't come out here just to make a video just because I think I need to make a video. I come out here and I share this stuff with you because I'm passionate about it. I care about it, and I care about you guys, and I hope that you guys get something from this, if not just entertainment. And so do me a favor and show some love in the chat for the mods. They are so awesome. Give me an M and a heart for all the mods there in the chat. And also, guys, please come back and leave a comment. It pushes the video out so much better when you guys do that. Just come back to the stream after the stream's over. I don't care if you say hi, kiss my booty, or whatever. Just leave me a comment. Obviously like it. And there's also a hype function. Now, I think it's down by the share button or whatever in that area. You can hype videos. Believe it or not, when you guys use the hype function, I think you can do it to like 3 videos a week. I would really appreciate it. It pushes it out. I've seen a really huge difference when I knew somebody hyped a video compared to a couple videos I did that didn't get hyped. And I seen a huge difference in the number of views I got. So, and it wasn't just one time. It happened a couple times, because the one-time thing could be a fluke, right? 2 times, you start wondering. 3 times, and it's probably a pattern. You know what I mean? So, anyway, that's a little inside baseball. And also, guys, I got some managing mods too. Ilea, Trinity, Ripper, Wise Jing, Mist, guys, Jammer. Who else is in there? I got like 10 of you. Okay. So I just want to make sure that you guys understand that there's actually 2 levels of mods. You got a regular mod, and then you got a managing mod. Managing mods can actually turn the chat on to slow-mo for me if I need them to, or they got just certain extra little things, and they agreed to take on that responsibility. Ilea, guys, these people have been with me forever. Holy cow. Hey, Deep Quake, thanks, brother. Appreciate you, man. All right. That deserves something special, okay? I'm serious. Everybody tell him thanks, by the way. I think you might have to turn it on too, Ripper. I'll look into that, okay? I know WiseGen has done it, so if you guys, whatever there, you can, I'm sorry. Well, I'll figure it out. We'll figure that out, okay? And I'll make sure, I might even show you guys at one point at the end of a stream. Deep Quake, thank you, man. I really appreciate you. Prayers for you always continue. Yeah, he's on grandpa duty a lot. I love that. I really do. I wish I had some grandkids. I don't have grandkids yet, guys. Hopefully that happens eventually, anyway. You know what I mean? I hear Christina, which is Mist, and Wise Jen, and everybody else talking about their grandkids and stuff. I get jealous. Oh, I love my babies. You know what I mean? My family is my world. No doubt. I mean, did that highlight? Or did it not? Did that highlight or not? I thought I highlighted that. Hey, Tommy Bird, good to see you, bud. Glad you got one of those. Let's see, let's see here. Okay. Something else you guys can do here too, check this out. I'm a member to my own channel. I do that so I get extra notifications and stuff. I can do this. Hey, hey, hey. Send. Guys, please use that. Whenever you've been here, you guys get this free membership milestone. You can leave me a super chat like that. It's not a super chat. It's just you get a special, special message right there. Hey, Hope, good to see you. But yeah, guys, so yeah, please use that. That's something. That's one of the perks of being a member. You get to do that once a month. But yeah, guys. Okay, I am going to go ahead and end it. Yeah, I got to get in there and spend some time with my girls before they leave tomorrow morning. Pray for me that I can actually survive. I might have to, I don't know, have to cook something. I don't know, with toast or something. Yeah, Angel's Wings, I know. I try to make it, guys, listen, I don't care if you're talking about, if you're reading a stinking encyclopedia or something. It's all about the presentation. If it's not entertaining at all to you, you're not going to watch. You know what I mean? And believe it or not, if you're learning something, that in itself is entertainment to a lot of people. And, just new information. It is for me anyway. I like watching a few documentaries and things like that on subjects that I don't normally watch. And that's how you grow as a person, I've never professed to know everything. But what I will profess to is if somebody asks me a question, if I don't know the answer to it, I will either go find that answer for you, or I will point you to somebody that can. Hey, Callie, good to see you. I know, you always say that, man. Oh my God. I just looked over here to the side. Christina, I'm going to text you here in a few minutes. I thought my son had sent those out. Anyway, I'm going to have to do it myself, it looks like. You know what I'm talking about, I think. Anyway, I will see you guys tomorrow. I hope to see everybody. And guess what? You guys get any aurora photos, you guys get some pictures of the moon, the blood moon, please send them over. I'll show them. Okay? Ray's Astrophotography also. He's got a great channel over there. I'm sure he's going to have his telescope out. I think he lives in Texas, and he's going to be doing that. So please go over to his channel. He's awesome. He really is. I sent a lot of you guys over there when his channel first started. He's gotten he's way bigger than I am now, and which is great. I'm glad I was able to even have a little bit of something to do. Yeah, I know. I know, man. I'm sorry. I've said that for like 2 months now. It's crazy. You guys think my squirrelness is only when I'm like here? That's not true. Hey, Jan. I promise you it's not. It's every day. My whole life is like that. I didn't used to be like this, guys. I really, truly didn't. I could, and if I concentrate, like I think the main part of this until the end of it here, right, which is normal for me to show you guys and talk to you guys at the end of the stream. I think it's only right. I think for the most part, I kind of stayed on topic here tonight. I hope you guys agree. If I didn't, let me know, and I will try my best not to squirrel a whole lot. I want to get you guys the information, you know what I mean, and show you guys what I'm seeing, and because that is the purpose of the channel. But there is another purpose that's real close to the top purpose, and that is just building relationships with you guys, because that means the world to me. I'm locked in my house most of the time, so even for me, it's a little more. I can't get out and do a whole lot of things because I have a few 6 vertebrae in my neck, 2 in my lower back. I got this I had a cyst on my hand that wouldn't heal, so I had to have a rotational skin flap. I'll just put it to you this way. I had 33 surgeries in like the span of 8 or 9 years. It was horrific time for me, but I got past it, and I'm here, and I'm glad I am. And I just have to deal with the other stuff. I did blow a disc out again. Doing what, I don't know, because like I said, I don't really leave the house a whole lot or even do anything like that. My garage door broke yesterday. That was crazy. That's okay. That's okay. Whenever you can, Hope, for sure. I'm not sure if you guys know this, but I got like a 19 foot 6 inches wide, one solid wood door. I know you guys can't know this. This is my garage door. And it's been that way since we've owned the house 26 years ago. It is extremely heavy. My door takes 2 massive springs when they had to come out and change the springs. Those things are really, really dangerous. If you ever don't try to attempt that stuff on your own to adjust spring tension and stuff, okay? They have to put these big rebar bars in it and get to a specific tension to help pull your door up. But what most people overlook when you got a door that long, or even a short one, there is 2 pulleys at both sides, just right above the tracks, and it's coiled. It's a braided metal line, and it hooks to the bottom of the door, so it helps keep it aligned. It's a little something to keep the door from getting crooked in the track. And that line popped off one side yesterday, and my door was like, oh my God, it was horrific. It was. I like working on stuff. I almost had to quit. I almost couldn't do it physically. It was hard, and then my wife to the rescue. She's awesome, man. The braided line connects to the bottom of the door on both sides, right? Well, it's a little eyelet, and it has a little pin that goes to it. I thought that it had like an E-clip on it, holding it in, but it was a cotter pin. And I didn't see the cotter pin until she said, hey, can you look? She pointed it out. I thought it was an E-clip, because I wasn't going to try to take an E-clip off of it. I was just going to try to wind it back up as I lowered the door, and that wasn't working. But I seen that cotter pin, took that cotter pin, had it fixed in like 10 minutes after that. Yeah, the coils are definitely killers, Dimmer. 1000%, brother. Good to see you, J-Poss. Good to see everybody. Booing? What's booing? What's that? What's that, Callie? Not sure what that means, girl. Yours did that too? Yeah. It's crazy. It's crazy how that, this stuff like that can really jack you up. You know what's also crazy? You know why we even went out there? Me and my wife were simply just going to go take a drive. She cleaned the car and stuff. She wanted to go for a drive. And we got stuck in that garage for like 4 hours. But you know what? We hadn't had a drive in a long time, so I came in, took a shower. We went for a drive. My wife and my daughter and my 2 sons are just my world, and I try to do my best by them, and I don't always succeed. but I can tell you I always try. Nobody's perfect, so remember that. So if you're having issues with yourself, just remember, number one, there's a whole lot of people that you can talk to. You got the whole wages family right here. All you gotta do is reach out. People talk, and we will. We'll talk to you in the background, whoever it is. Doesn't matter who it is. All you do is email us. If you're not comfortable talking to me, I can get you to somebody you need to talk to. It's just that easy. Yeah, that's right, Callie. All right, guys, I am going to get out of here, but we will be watching this because I do think it's going to give us some really good geomagnetic storming, and I do think if it happens at the same time as the blood moon, the storm's going to be stronger because that means it got here faster. And that would be really cool to see the moon and aurora, the blood moon and aurora in the sky at the same time. I mean, I'm not even sure how often that happens. It's kind of crazy. That's right. That's right, Salty Berry. Daryl, what's up, brother? All right. All right, guys. I said this already 1,000 times, so I am going to go ahead and kill it here, guys. All right. Love all you guys. God bless. Yahusha saves. And as always, what's that say? You got to do something about YouTube saying upcoming while you're live. I can tell you why that's happening, White Knuckler. I'm trying to narrow down a hard time to go live. Okay? With the way my life has been, it's been really hard for me to say, hey, I'm going to live stream at 7 o'clock. I try to give myself a window from like 7 to 10 to be here. So sometimes if I scheduled a live stream with a thumbnail, because I got to make a thumbnail. Believe it or not, guys, that takes a while. That takes a minute. You always want to have a good thumbnail to grab people's attention. The thumbnail is for you guys, but it's mainly to grab new people. That they, the attention span and everything, and there's so much stuff out there that you have to do something to try to grab somebody's eyes. And once they're here, the first 30 seconds that they're here is important. That's why I changed the way that I did my intros. But yeah, that's right. Know your flavor, baby. That's right. That's right, Carrington, for sure. But the first 30 seconds is very key. If you can get somebody to stay past 30 seconds, you've actually done something really awesome. YouTube didn't used to even count it. Well, right now they're not counting it as a view unless you stay 30 seconds or more. I'm not sure if you guys knew that. Now on in February 2027, that's changing. Okay? Anybody has channels out there, remember this, okay? Anytime somebody clicks on your video at all, it gives you a view. But what they're doing is they're separating those two in the analytics. So you're going to have two different view counts now. You're going to have just a view where somebody clicked on your video, right, immediately. Then you're going to have what's called an engaged view for those that stayed past 30 seconds, like it is right now. Not sure why they're doing that. I really don't. Personally, whatever. Somebody clicks on here and sees for 2 or 3 seconds and bolts. They're not coming back anyway, right? So it's not going to affect me. I'm going to keep doing it. It's not going to affect anything I do here. So, but guys, you guys need anything? Got any questions? Doesn't have to be about space weather, guys. If you just need somebody to vent on or talk to or whatever, email me. And there's a lot of people here that will step up to that too. This world is jacked up, and sometimes it takes a whole lot of jacks to hold it up. And we're those jacks. So we got to be there for each other. And yeah, I can just tell you that you guys have been here for me, and you didn't even know it. So many times. You guys have drugged me out of a dark place. And I can't thank you guys enough for that. It just truly is. It's more than I would have ever imagined here on YouTube. I just never thought it would happen like that. Didn't even consider it. Okay, back to the closing here for the 12th time. God bless. Yahusha saves, and as always, you can drink this Kool-Aid.